Let's take a look at the recycle bin in Windows 10. To do that, first we're going to go to File Explorer to create a few files so we can delete. So I'll just go to My Documents folder. I'm going to right click, go to New, and we'll create a new text document. We'll just call it File. And I'll copy and paste that a few times so we have a few files to delete. And I'll go back up to my original file, and we're going to delete that. And just so you can see what I'm doing, I'm going to use the on-screen keyboard. So I'm going to, the first one I'll just click delete. Once I have that highlighted, and notice the file goes away from here, and the recycle bin contains it now. Okay. So I'll do that for the second one. I'll go ahead and delete it, and it automatically goes to the recycle bin. The third one, let's say for it, I'm going to hold down the Shift key while I hit delete, and I'll get this warning message saying, hey, are you sure you want to permanently delete this file, meaning it won't go to the recycle bin. So just remember that. Copy 3 will permanently delete. And then file copy 2, let's go ahead and just delete it regularly. And we'll minimize the documents folder that's empty now. And we'll open the recycle bin by double clicking on it. And we see the three of the 4 deleted files are here. And we can restore one or all of those. So I'm going to click on the first copy we made. And from the menu here, we have restore the selected item. So when we have one selected, we could restore all items, put everything in the recycle bin back where it was before, or we can empty it, which would permanently delete the files here. So let's go ahead and restore the first one. So I'll click on restore, and we'll go back over to File Explorer here, and it put that file back where it was before. And then another way to do the same thing, I'll do to copy 2, you can right click on it in the recycle bin and click on restore, and that will also put it back. And let me delete these one more time. I'm just going to hit delete. It'll put it back in the recycle bin. And so one other thing we can do is restore all items. And are you sure you want to restore everything? So you get a warning message, and you'll say yes, and it puts them all back. And then I'll delete, let's see, 2 of these. And I'll go back here, and we can either empty the recycle bin from here. So if I click it here, are you sure you want to permanently delete the items in the recycle bin? Yes. Okay, they're gone now, so we can't recover them, at least not using the recycle bin. In a later video, we'll talk about some software that may help with that when we talk about file systems. So recycle bin icon, it's empty again, so nothing there. Another way to empty the recycle bin is you can right click on it, and there's a shortcut here that's grayed out now because there's nothing in it that says empty the recycle bin. So let's delete that file again, and if we right click, we can then empty the recycle bin, okay, and say yes if we want to delete it. I'm going to say no, and then I'm going to restore that file again. And a couple of other things I wanted to look at with the recycle bin. If we right click and we look at the properties, you'll see that you have a recycle bin for every disk you have in Windows. So we have 2 other disks, a FAT32 F drive here and an NTFS drive E. And the drive we're working on now is C, so that's the one we see here. And it has a space available. So the thing to remember about this is you have a limited amount of space in your recycle bin. There is a default size that you can change, so we can change it to a custom size to allow more or less files to be deleted. What happens if you exceed this maximum limit? It's a first in, first out basis. So the first file you deleted, once you exceed the maximum size that you've told Windows you want, you start losing those older deleted files, right? So the first thing you delete in the system is going to be the first thing it deletes when it needs to free up some space. The other thing we have here is display confirmation dialog. So notice when we hit the delete button before, it wasn't saying, are you sure you want to delete this? So if we check that on and we apply that, if we go back to our file explorer here, and I'll put the keyboard on again so you can see I'm hitting the delete key. Now by default it says, hey, are you sure you want to remove this to recycle bin? And so kind of an extra thing, you're not really deleting it, you can always recover it. So probably most of the time we would not necessarily need that dialog confirmation to say that, because we can always look in the recycle bin. Okay, so those are the properties. So we'll say OK there. One other thing we want to look at is how we can customize it. So I'm going to click on Start, Settings, and we'll look at Personalization. And it's actually kind of hidden under Themes. So we'll go down to Themes and scroll down until we get to Desktop Icon Settings. Okay, and we'll click on that. And we see that we have other settings besides the recycle bin, but we're focused on the recycle bin today. So we can actually remove the recycle bin from the desktop. So you can uncheck that and apply that, and you'll notice that'll take it away. So I'll recheck that and apply it so that it comes back. We can also change the icon. So notice there's two icons, because as we delete a file, it fills up the recycle bin. So there's two icons, full and empty. So I'm going to click on empty and say change icon, and we have some system icons that are available here that we can change. Scroll through and change the recycle bin to one of those, or we can pick an icon file. And so I'm going to click on browse here, and I downloaded some earlier, so I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to click on my empty recycle bin icon and open that. And as soon as I apply that, notice my recycle bin changes to that icon. And then I'll do the second part. I'll click on my full bin and change that, and again browse to my downloads and pick the full recycle bin icon. OK, and I'm going to apply that. And then we'll go ahead and delete a file here. So I'm going to go ahead and right click on that and hit delete. And okay, having a bit of problems with the custom icon, so let's go back. We can also restore default, so I'll try that and apply. And so it does put the recycle bin back. Let me try to change the icon again. And let's browse to the downloads and pick the full trash can and say open that. OK, and apply. And so we get the full trash can there. Okay, so that's another way we can customize that. So let's go back to these, and I'm gonna restore defaults on both of those. And let's go back and change the icon. Go ahead and apply that. So that's a little bit about how to work with the Windows recycle bin.